Justo los saludo, buenas tardes. Bienvenidos al Observatorio de la Lengua Española y las Culturas Hispánicas en los Estados Unidos. Es un gusto tenerlos aquí. No sé si conocen todas nuestras actividades. Principalmente nos dedicamos a organizar actividades, encuentros académicos relacionados con el español y con lo latino, la comunidad latina en los Estados Unidos. Como consecuencia de ese cometido, por un lado, organizamos actividades presenciales y también publicamos y hacemos informes que publicamos mensualmente sobre el español y la comunidad latina. Uno de los últimos informes que hemos publicado es un canon de las lecturas literarias obligatorias en los Estados Unidos, que presenta un panorama de qué es lo que se lee en los estudios de maestría y de doctorado de manera obligatoria y cómo ha evolucionado el canon de lecturas desde los años 90 hasta estos años. Y el próximo informe que publicaremos será sobre traducción e interpretación desde el punto de vista comercial y profesional en los Estados Unidos. O sea que tocamos, como ven, temas muy diversos. Pero como saben, somos Cervantes y, como decía Terencio, nada cervantino nos puede ser ajeno. Así es que en esta ocasión es Cervantes quien nos va a ocupar, a quien nos va a interesar, y además como fruto de una colaboración que ya hemos repetido en otras ocasiones, tanto con la profesora Mary Gaylor como con el Departamento de Lenguas y Literaturas Romances de la Universidad de Harvard. Para nosotros es un gusto colaborar en la organización de este encuentro, que además se suma a otros encuentros que hemos venido realizando durante los 2 últimos años a modo de celebración de la publicación de la segunda parte del Quijote por un lado y de conmemoración de la muerte de Cervantes por otro, de tal manera que esta actividad viene a cerrar un ciclo que, como saben, ha dado lugar a muchas actividades en muchos lugares del mundo, también en España, aunque en España ha habido mucha polémica, y que, en fin, no sabremos si de todo esto saldrá un gran beneficio para Cervantes y su obra. Lo que sí sabemos es que el gran beneficio ha sido para algunos. En concreto, durante el año pasado, Amazon vendió 300.000 ejemplares del Cervantes en línea. 300.000 ejemplares. Y Amazon ofrece 300 ediciones del Quijote en 10 lenguas diferentes. Como exhibición de poderío comercial, organizaron una reunión, una lectura del Quijote a través de un Kindle en un pueblo de Toledo que se llama Consuegra, al que pertenecen los molinos que aparecen en esa fotografía. Y allí se vino a demostrar que el Quijote es un libro infinito que ahora se ofrece en un espacio también infinito. Bien, aquí no somos tan pretenciosos, pero sí somos conscientes de que Cervantes es un autor infinito, aunque nuestro espacio sea finito. Así es que bienvenidos a nuestro espacio finito, y los dejo ya con Mary Gaylor para que les haga el saludo. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Paco. I'm going to speak in English just to establish the bilingual nature of this session, these sessions in which we'll have several talks in Spanish and in each session, one in English, but questions in English are absolutely legitimate and so on. It's wonderful to be back here in another anniversary year. This is also an anniversary year. It's the last one we'll have for a while, a last Cervantes year for a while. It's the anniversary of the posthumous publication of Cervantes' last work, Los Trabajos de Persiles y Sigismunda, The Labors of Persiles and Sigismunda, which was published the year following his death. So we're getting the most out of this anniversary, but it's never the wrong year to celebrate Cervantes, in my view. So I want to welcome everyone to this celebration, Texts and Voices, Textos y Voces, and offer a special thanks to the Observatorio de la Lengua Española y las Culturas Hispánicas en Estados Unidos, and its director, Francisco Moreno Fernandez, an ever-ready collaborator, co-conspirator, I like to think, in projects of this kind. As we gather once again in the last anniversary year to do honor to, and above all, to enjoy together, to savor some gems from the staggering literary treasure that is the legacy, the enduring legacy of Miguel de Cervantes Saavedra, we could very well imagine ourselves to be playing the part, mutatis mutandis, of characters in one of Cervantes' fictions. For what, after all, are the characters of La Galatea, the 2 volumes of Don Quixote, the novelas ejemplares de Viaje del Parnaso, or the Persiles? What are they? What are these memorable phantoms but companies of readers? They are companies of readers, wending their various winding and intertwining ways through the plots of the books that they inhabit. Whether on the move, sobre la marcha, or during some contrived pause in a library or a locus amenus, at a funeral or a wedding feast, in an inn or in a bookshop, they come together over and over again to talk about books and to talk about books, to listen to the impromptu audio books of their day produced by their fellows, to tell their own stories, to sing songs and decipher the mysteries that poems promise and then withhold, to boast about their own literary and editorial exploits. Among the enduring lessons of Cervantes' writing is the lesson that the world as we know it is always already shaped and is always continuing to be shaped by human imaginings of the world and by human reflections on those imaginings. Are we then so different from the priest and barber, from Chrysostomo's friends and Galatea's shepherds, from the writers and scholars, actors and poets who stumble into the path of Cervantes' protagonists at every turn? Living as we do as students of literature, perpetually in the shadow of fiction, of poetry, of theater, of history, are we so different from the ingenious Hidalgo himself and the throngs he draws magnetically into his imagined universe? If we could consult Cervantes, he would likely assign to us a less elevated place than that of Don Quixote. I'm guessing that it would be somewhere among the collection of literary parasites who turn up regularly in his books. Basilio's pedantic cousin, for example, who's preparing quite a few centuries late, a supplement to Polydor Virgil, the canon from Toledo who issues prescriptions about the writing of prose fiction, the jolly académicos de la Argamasilla, the licenciado Millos of the Retablo de las Maravillas, who obsesses about his literary reputation. The role he would now no doubt choose for me as convener of today's colloquium is one he gives in the Persiles to a memorable literary opportunist who wanders the world collecting a proverb from every traveler he meets, with the idea of publishing all of the collected proverbs in a collection with his name on the spine, and a volume titled Flor de Aforismos Peregrinos. I love the passage in which he boasts about the genius of his scheme. Lo mejor de todo, he says, es que el trabajo será ajeno y el provecho mío. I could say the same today. This Cervantine miniature, like many of his fictional writer characters, is of course thinking about turning the claim of borrowed authority, of authorship, to fame and to material profit. but I hope that our favorite writer and you will let me give the trope a less crass and more benignly figurative turn. In inviting some participants in recent courses to present their work today, I want to honor their passionate engagement with Cervantes texts and their gift, your gift to me and to each other, and today to all of us, of your unique and varied perspectives on the Quixote and on literary representation in the broader sense. I believe I'm speaking for all the participants today when I say that, having shared many pleasant colloquies among ourselves, we are now delighted to have this opportunity to welcome others into our company of readers. Thank you.